kind of like the calm before the storm here on the morning of New Year's Eve, because you've got all these bowl games coming up today. The ones that people are starting to get interested in, if you haven't been paying attention thus far. And then we get to the college football playoff, just a tease tonight, Penn State, Boise, and then the 3 games going on tomorrow. Can't wait for those, especially the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. Sam, let's just pick up where we left off kind of with Michael Felder. He's on Georgia. We're on Notre Dame. That's been well established. And I was talking with Paul about it. You didn't want to enter the Survivor, which I do understand why, because now I'm here. I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do. What do you do? Yeah, I have opinions on who I think is going to win today, but the problem is I think a couple of these teams are going to make some runs, and then I need to pick them later. Whatever. I'm not going to pick Notre Dame or Georgia. I've decided in the one entry that I have Notre Dame available, because I think the winner of this game is going to win next week against probably Penn State. That's kind of where I'm at. I think we mentioned it with Casale. Casale was also on Georgia for this game. I expect the winner of Notre Dame, Georgia, to take out the winner of Penn State, Boise next week.
Okay. So what are you going to do then?
I don't know. It's going to be a mixture. It's going to be a mixture of different things. I guess I probably should go Penn State, since there's no way in hell I'm going to take them once we get to the Final Four, even if they do get there. There's no way in hell I'm taking them next week.
Yeah, I don't know is very funny. It reminds me of one of my favorite Simpsons episodes when Homer mails his resignation letter to Mr. Burns and then realizes he can't quit, so he goes to the post office and he says, "Hello, my name is Mr. Burns. I believe you have a package for me." And the post office guy goes, "All right, Mr. Burns, what is your first name?" "I don't know." What are you going to do in Survivor? "I don't know." Now, that's all bowl games or just the playoff games? I'm not in the league, so I don't know the parameters. Okay.
Well, okay, so here's the challenge. We've got to make 2 picks for this round. You got to pick 2 of the 4. The challenge is, like, I can tell you and say, okay, yeah, Texas is going to win, but do I want to take them? Because do I need them in the next round? Do I need them in the championship game if they get that far? I would pick Ohio State to win, but if you think they're going to win the championship, you can't take Ohio State against Oregon. You can't do it because you got to save them, and a lot of people are going to use them. Notre Dame, it sucks that in some of my entries I already used them because I think they're going to make a run, so I don't want to pick that game. So that's the tough part. It's like with Survivor in these kinds, like with March Madness and with this specific college football playoff one, you want to pick someone, you want them to win, and then as soon as they win, you want them to lose. That's the hard part because you need to have options down the road. Man, I keep going back to this Riley Leonard prop. 34.5 rushing yards. And I expect that to be the path to a Georgia victory, forcing him to throw from the pocket. But we've seen the Georgia Bulldogs have a lot of issues against mobile quarterbacks. We saw it in that Georgia Tech game where King had 3 rushing touchdowns. We saw it against Alabama. Milroe went for 117 and 2 touchdowns. And we know Leonard can do that. The prop of 34.5, that's certainly something that I'm going to bet in addition to the Irish winning.
I heard a lot of things on social media. I had a really exciting night. If you didn't check my X last night, I went from Georgia to Detroit. Oh, I had this SEC Charlie Brown come at me about, Georgia's going to win 50-3. Like, okay, all right. You want to see his picture? Here. Is that SEC Charlie Brown? See the shirt?
And the red and white, of course.
Yeah, it's SEC Charlie Brown. I didn't show his face. I don't want to dox anybody, although he did say some things in the DMs that maybe I should post one day. I just I think it's so funny, like the Georgia defenders that are so pro Georgia are just not painting the whole picture. Like one guy's telling me, well, the only reason they gave up all those yards to Georgia Tech is because it was a rivalry game. I'm like, no. The reason they gave up all those yards is because they're not as good defensively as they've been in the last 5 years. They're not. This is a team that gave up 40 to Alabama, that gave up 30 to a lot of teams this year. And yeah, look at their recruiting class. So what? Who cares about their recruiting class? I think it's this simple. If you flip the teams, if you flip the helmets, what is the spread in the game? If you put Notre Dame's players in Georgia gear, what is the number?
I think we got it. We got the right number, but the market moved it. You don't think? You think it should be higher?
I think Notre Dame should be favored. I think the Irish should be favored this year.
No. When I say we got it, we got it initially.
Oh,
Notre Dame was favored.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I agree. I don't think Georgia should be favored.
Especially with the backup quarterback. Should they be favored if it's Beck?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'm bullish on that. I mean, take a stance, right? Have an opinion.
And
have a take.
You're going after former college radio mates. I just saw that one.
Yeah, it's just Jake loved that one.
Laugh out loud funny for me in my kitchen last night.
Come on. Give me a break.
So good.
I haven't talked to this guy in 10 years, and he's coming at, you don't know anything. All right, okay.
What's he doing?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Did you do a show with him?
Yes.
I got to know the backstory. Okay.
I did.
Was it bad?
It was whatever. It's college radio. It's fine.
Yeah, it was bad. It's college
radio.
Lions
fans, he's a Lions guy. The Lions fans were very mad last night. Very mad. Yeah. And all I said was the Simps are going to defend Dan Campbell no matter what. And the Simps, as we know, the Simps are going to simp.
Yep. Yeah.
All the Simps are like, grrr! Very, very funny. Back to your Survivor thing. Oh, hold on. Sorry. You said you need to pick a team, right? If it were me, I don't like telling people what to do. I like telling them what I would do.
Okay.
I would take Texas because I don't feel confident in Texas. Like whoever Texas plays, whether it be Ohio State or Oregon, I would like that team.
The other side.
Against Texas.
The other side.
So okay. I would burn Texas. And it's just to win, right? It's not to cover. You just have to win the game.
Just to win.
I don't think Texas loses to Arizona State. I don't know that Arizona State can move the ball on that defense. So that's what I would do. But I'm not in Survivor. I suck at Survivor. So maybe fade me.
I think the strategy is very interesting because you need them to lose quickly. So that makes sense with Texas. And I guess I'll probably definitely have at least one of the entries, Texas, Penn State, because I expect Penn State to win, most likely. But are they going to go past the next round? Are they going to get into the championship game? Probably not. Let's go there. We've talked a lot about Boise and why we like them getting double digits. This is the game tonight. We went over the Genti number, 127.5. And I know you like Boise getting the points. My concern, as I mentioned to Felder, is defensively, what we're going to get from this team. Is it just going to be Penn State running all over them all game? And that would be their path to winning by a couple of scores.
I could see it. I also look at what Penn State has done defensively in a couple games. I mean, not to compare Boise to Oregon, but Oregon did whatever it wanted in the entire game in the Big Ten Championship. It's tough. I'm not going to bet a lot on Boise State, but I'll have a taste. And my favorite bet, as we know, is Notre Dame. I probably won't bet Texas, Arizona State. I like the over in Ohio State, Oregon. Those two teams had almost 1,000 yards combined in the last meeting. And Chip Kelly finally realized, hey, I can throw the ball to my NFL receivers in the last game. Against Michigan, they wouldn't throw it. Chip was so stubborn. And then against, Tennessee, he's like, I'm going to throw the ball to my NFL talent. And they beat the snot out of Tennessee and did whatever they wanted. So that's a game, last meeting, low 60s, I think like 31-30 or 33-32. I don't remember the final score, but it was in the low 30s.
32-31.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this total opened like 52, got bet up to 55. I do think it's still a little low. You know, if I get Texas USC Rose Bowl vibes, Matt Leinart, Vince Young, just up and down the field. Those are the vibes I get from that game. You got a lot of NFL talent on offense. I like Boise. I'm not in love with it. I'm not going to make a big bet on it. I'm just willing to sort of find out if Penn State can win this big game. You know, easy to win at home when you're a huge favorite. Winning on a neutral is a little different.
The regular season matchup, Oregon, Ohio State, that closed 54.5, obviously. 63 points scored in that one, and right now we're sitting 55.5 over at BetMGM. I do get the sense, okay, the high total of the four, that one, it's probably going to go over. And the low total, Georgia Notre Dame, 45.5, that's probably going to go under. With the backup quarterback Stockton going against an elite defense, and then Notre Dame's going to want to run the ball because they're going to get it. They would get into trouble if Riley Leonard's passing game is going to decide this one. So, I would go that route. It feels like the low total is going to go under. Favorite bet?
Of the four.
Yeah. Between sides and totals, man, I've talked myself into Notre Dame so hard. Yeah. Since before we got the matchup, we were saying Notre Dame over Georgia. I like Ohio State. I'm worried we get a score like last time and then they don't cover the number. So I don't know that I'll get there. Maybe there will be a live opportunity. If it goes back and forth like you suggest, that means we're going to have opportunities on both sides. If you want to jump in and do some live betting, if that's something that you're looking at. I'm going to play Texas, man. I don't know about you. I'm going to play Texas at 12.5.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all. I went against Texas last week, and Clemson had 3rd and goal at the 1, 4th and goal at the 1. Didn't get in, didn't cover. So I'm okay. Like I'm okay not betting that game.
Yeah.
I get it. Texas is loaded. I think Arizona State's very one-dimensional. And the problem with teams that can only do one thing against elite defenses, you don't have any versatility. We'll see. I like their coach a lot, Kenny Dillingham. I think he's awesome. I think he's done a great job there. I also don't think they belong on the field with Texas. So I would lean to Texas. I told you I would play Texas in Survivor. So I'm not banging the drum for Arizona State. I wanted to read a couple predictions on Instagram, though, if I can, for 1 second.
Yes.
Georgia 48, Notre Dame 10. Georgia 48, Notre Dame 3. This dude with the glasses is on crack. Georgia's going to roll them. Georgia all day. Georgia by 50. Georgia dominates this game. Shut up, nerd. Those are just some posts on the BetQL Instagram video that we have on Notre Dame, Georgia.
People have that Texas game in their mind, and they think that's what's going to happen. Like it's just going to be a domination in the trenches. Most of those people have not watched Notre Dame play this year. Notre Dame would fit right in with the SEC. And they would probably – I wonder what they would do. Because here's what those people are going to say, that they haven't played anybody, that Indiana and they were weak and all that stuff. Okay, we're going to find out, man. I'm really – these two games, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, the later games tomorrow, they're going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal matchups. Man, tonight's game, I know. A lot of that is just years past. And Felder, everything that Felder said, I'm just like, I don't know that applies right now to this Notre Dame team. I don't know that applies to this Notre Dame team. So it's going to be great. Can't wait. And then we're going to have the Final Four. That'll be all set. What about these 4 games, these other 4 games going on today? Man, everybody has an Alabama ticket, I feel. Now we're out to, are we at 17 yet?
Yeah, 17 offshore. 16 and a half.
Jeez.
Most places we're out to 17. I don't know, Jake. I think I might take your guy Bielema today at 2:00.
I will be vomiting.
I mean, they've come in. This opened 11.5. They're back in the Illini a little bit, which might surprise some people.
Uniform narrative. Illinois going with the script on the helmets for the first time.
Oh, how much is that worth?
Wow.
Same as the weather in October baseball.
Say 3.5.